Libra 2023, the month of April, is going to bring you some really good luck when it comes to business and love partnerships. It's going to be extraordinarily auspicious. And in a way you haven't experienced for 12 years as well. You're going to find some focus on your longer, bigger picture money story, really drawing your attention, especially with investments, retirement plans, savings, things like that. And you're going to have a bit of focus on the potential for some book publishing or foreign lands events. We're going to talk about how that may play out in your life this month ahead, based on your rising sign Libra, first and most accurate. And secondarily, you can listen for your sun and moon sign as well. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Lori Lothian. I am a Hellenistic astrologer using the techniques and tools of ancient traditions such as Hellenistic and Babylonian astrology, and I love the minor asteroids. If you want to know more about what I'm up to, I teach courses and I have a lot of content that you can jump into. Bunch of freebies that I've already taught. You can replay those courses and get that content below, or jump into my Sky Reader course starting in mid-April, Time Your Best Life, Be Your Own Astrologer. And that class is taught, this will be my third time, usually once a year, and it's coming up for doors opening within the next couple of weeks. I'm recording this actually on March the 22nd. Patreon gets all of my content before the general public for $5 a month, ad free as well. I have a newsletter, check it out below. And I do readings. Everything you need to know is in my description box. So let's get started and look at your month ahead, Libra. All right, so the first thing I'm going to bring up for you guys is I want to talk about Libra. The lord of your sign is Venus. That means that Venus is the most important planet for the Libra rising people, and and sun and moon as well, of course, because Venus rules Libra. So let's talk about what she's up to this month, because Venus will be moving signs. Venus has been in Taurus and will be in Taurus until the month of April, on the April 11th date, and switches over to Gemini. Now, that means she's been spending a lot of time in your 8th house before she gets there. Those are dealings with finances, loans, mortgages, taxes, things to do with inheritance money, spousal shared resources, and other kinds of money that you don't earn. And Venus here has been trying to benefit you there, as she does every year. And that is all true until April 11th, but then she swings into the sign of Gemini. Now, when your Lord swings into Gemini, which is your 9th house of God, this is good for you. Why? Because it's called a trine or a flow 120 degrees away from your ascendant or sun and moon. Don't forget, sun and moon can be about dad and mom, for instance. So that's why we listen most accurately for our rising sign. And as Venus is moving through your 9th house of God, temples, religion, book publishing, foreign lands, foreign shores, courts and legal matters, she's favorable for you. And she's looking down and away down to you and your body and gives you a glow up. This is a luck goddess in a luck house. There is luck in the 9th house. It is a traditional luck house in the Indian astrology. It's a Lakshmi house for prosperity. This is a glow up that you get by Venus, your Lord, once a year. And here it comes, right? So get ready for that April 11th to May the 7th sweet touch of Venus navigating your 9th house and flowing towards your ascendant. Now, on the other hand, there's some other things to say. This is an ideal time for love up and glow up in a third marriage. 9th house can be that. This is a wonderful time for foreign shores travel and getaways, or enjoyment, or of something that you want to learn that requires a lot of learning, like universities or mentorship programs. This is a time where women from foreign shores and lands can really benefit you, and foreign from the place of your birth. Now, also, legal matters may work in your behalf as well. Favorable outcomes in court and legal matters can occur during this transit. So look for that, April the 11th to May the 7th. While she first just steps into your 9th house this month, she does something she has never done in your life, and she'll be doing it on the daily, on the regular, on the yearly until 2044 kind of thing. What she's doing is she's looking back over her shoulder at Pluto, who has just begun his ingress into Aquarius. Pluto will be at 0 degrees of your romance house, while Venus will be at 0, 1, 2, and 3 degrees of your 9th house. So April 11th to the 16th, there's a vibe of powerful romantic love coming from a foreign land, powerful romantic love with great depth of intimacy being engaged because of trips, because of educational settings, potentially. If you are a single Libra, sun, moon, or rising, this can open up a very powerful opportunity for a new romance, but look to Venus for where it happens. And again, third marriages could go up in notch in terms of intimacy, both emotionally and sexually. As well, your relationships to your children are intensified because Pluto in the house of children and Venus in the ninth house, but this is good stuff. And for a very few of you Libra risings, Venus moving through your ninth house can be the birth or announcement of a grandchild coming into the storyline. All right. Now, one of the things I'd say, the last thing to say about this Venus transit, Venus is creating an incredible flow back to that fifth house. So if you have your own business in enterprise, you're an entrepreneur like I am, then this is going to be very beneficial as well between April 11th and May 7th for all things kick-ass entrepreneurial in your life, as well as leisure travel and pleasure travel. All right. Keep it in mind. Now, Mercury is also doing something pretty darn cool. He's moving for a long time, more than 2 months, through your eighth house of chunky money. Mercury will enter the chunky money house on April the 3rd, and he will leave on June the 11th. So this is a long stay. He will retrograde on the 21st of April. What this kind of says is that you're going to start focusing on commerce and commercial activities and trading in markets and stocks, or lots of negotiation and communication around things to do with inheritances, taxes, spousal money, shared money, alimony, spousal support, all of that kind of stuff. Those energies are very, very active this month. There's a golden window of time between April the 3rd and April the 11th when both Venus and Mercury are in that chunky money house. So good things could be happening, chunky money coming to you. And yes, unfortunately, inheritances is included in the eighth house, but the really sweet window is April the 3rd to the 11th. And you know, if there is an inheritance coming in the sky at this time, that's just the way that life works. People do pass away and money can come to you. But also you could get a tax rebate, you could get a insurance payout or some kind of chunk of money, and it may, or a grant, a stipend, a big royalty check, something like that coming out of the sky April 3rd to April 11th. Now, that's because we have both Mercury going direct and Venus in that part of the sky. April 21st, when Mercury goes retrograde in your eighth house, is probably a time where you're going to go back over some old ground regarding stocks, investments, finances, and look at the fine print. And the retrograde will go on till May 14th. Not a good idea to buy a stock necessarily or do anything risky regarding investments during a retrograde Mercury in your eighth house. It also could be a retrenchment or a turning around backwards in some way, like if you have stocks in the stock market that could be losing money as market retrograde or as Mercury retrogrades there. I'm cautious about the markets. I think they're going to be a massive correction that we haven't seen since like 1929. For the astrology, it shows that. So be careful if you have any ability to take your money and put it in safer havens like money market. It's not a good time for risky investments at all. And just be cautious and put a lot of focus on what you're doing with that money during the month of April, because Mercury is putting your attention there anyway, right? April 3rd to June 11th. May as well go with the flow and look where Mercury is looking. All right. Mars, the god of change. Yes, that's what he does. He causes you change of direction, change of momentum, change of action, change of decisions, and all of that. Mars can bring change, right? And conflict, of course, you know, but he's also a change god. People forget that. They didn't have Uranus in the old days. They had Mars to say, go this way and go that way. So what's going on with this? Well, number one, Mars is entering into Cancer and will be there from March the 25th to May the 20th. So all of April, he's moving direct through the sign of Cancer. This is a sign in which he's in his fall. It's a place of debility or discomfort because it's the temple of the moon. So he's not the strongest up here, but he could be making some changes in your career and workspace. This could be people being fired, leaving the workplace, combat and struggle and arguments in the workplace, or some passionate directional action that you're trying to implement in your career structures and focus in your work. 10th house is your visible action in the world. So if you're working as a student or a stay-at-home parent, that's your visible action that's changing direction in some fundamental way, or that you're focused on. Some of you, though, will be quitting or leaving, or the other people in that environment of your work may quit or leave, because Mars ends, cuts, and severs things as well. So that usually looks like that in that part of the sky. As Mars is going through your Cancer part of the real estate in your 10th house, he is also squaring your ascendant in an applied square. This is a good time to pay attention to your health and not to cause yourself to physically burn out in the month of April from something that may be to do with work. Good news is Venus, after the 11th of April, is softening any Martian blows. So that I would say in the first 11 days of April, be careful for your health, especially around injuries, accidents, or burnout. Mars squares the ascendant, and that can cause that kind of trouble. Otherwise, that's about all we can say about that Mars transit, right? He's really busy in that 10th house. And you may just find it's a good strategy to avoid conflict in the workspace, because Mars can stir it up and you can be conscious and proactive and get your Zen on and go like, be here now and, not argue with people that are in a passive aggressive arguing mood. And that's what Mars is like in water signs, especially Cancer. He's not good with emotions here. And so he might be over the top or passive aggressive. So be careful for that kind of tension in the workspace with a colleague, coworker, or boss, etc., or career space, I should say. I'm going to jump ahead a bit with the Mars story because I'm talking about him, and just kind of galvanize us forward to the end of the month, between about the 27th to the 30th of the month of April, when you're going to have some good stuff going on from Mars. Even though he's in detriment, he will sextile Uranus. Could be a financial bonus from work, a sudden financial surprise, or a secret being revealed, or some hidden thing that affects your work in a positive way. Positive money work surprises in the last 3 days of the month. All right, continuing on to a more linear narrative, we're going to go bit by bit through the month. Now, I'm not covering the lunations nor the eclipses in this video in any depth. That's because I do 90-minute videos, etc., for eclipses, and longer 1-hour videos for all signs for each lunation. So that's going to be separate content. So if you haven't liked or subscribed or hit my notification bell, Libra, why don't you give me a try? And if you don't like me, you can always unsub. Alrighty, let's keep moving. I would say to you that, let's go in our chronology, that April 7th to 10th is a sweet flow sky story for you, because it involves your Lord Venus. She's sextiling Neptune. This is very soulmatey, dreamy, and lovey-dovey. She's sextiling Neptune April 7th to 10th from your 8th house of chunky money, and Neptune in the house of work, tenancies, leases, and pets, and sometimes debt. You could relieve a debt, pay off a debt, pay down a debt, credit card or otherwise, or have a friend or somebody return money that was owed to you. With Neptune involved, there's some kind of dream tenancy, dream renter, or dreamy dream pet coming to you in a very exciting and positive way. That's very okay with your finances. 6th house is about your health and work routines as well. This is where Neptune is. This can be a very sweet up level in both of those things. With Venus in the 8th house, some of it can be through the woo. You know what I mean? Going to see a Reiki healer, or, some kind of hypnosis type healing. So this is a window on the 7th to the 10th where you can do alternative healing successfully for health challenges. I would do it if I were you. And then at the same time, April 7th to 10th, you've got Mercury. Yes, Mr. Commerce himself, he is busy in your 8th house, right? We talked about all of that earlier in this short video. So that's your chunky money house. And he's going to sextile Mars in the career space. That looks like career and money stories in a positive flowing way. You might get a new job, promotion, raise. You might get some kind of severance package if you're leaving, some kind of buyout, some kind of bonus money, some kind of reward for well done work. It comes in a chunk, not a daily drip. So maybe it's like, yeah, what a great sales, you did so great in your sales this month. Here's your bonus payment. Here's your recognition reward, some kind of chunk of money coming through career and work, passion and purpose and endeavors. Okay. So 7th to 10th of April looks kind of nice on you. Very soft energy. And then there's a lucky sky story on April the 11th. And what's going on here is Jupiter comes into the heart of the sun in Aries, which you can only do once every 12 years on average. And so, Jupiter in the heart of the sun, which would have happened last year too, but you know what I mean? Jupiter's only every 12 years in the 7th house. And Jupiter in the heart of the sun in your 7th house of marriage and business partnerships and clients, and the way you reach your marketplace. It's a great day to launch a product, sell something to your clients, launch a course. It's a good day to reach out to a primo client. It's a good day for lucky breaks with clients where some very powerful, leaderful, exceptional client reaches out to you. It's a wonderful day for your marriage relationship to up level, or if you're single, meet somebody. April the 11th brings something very positive here. Now, Jupiter can represent a teacher or a leader, and sun, especially with the sun, and Jupiter's super strong here. So what teacher leader energy intersects your life and becomes a significant person in some way in your world, right? Significant other. The reason it's so important is that Jupiter is invisible in the sky at the end of March through to the beginning of May. And so this is a weaker version of him in your 7th house. And I'll do a whole video on that, but it can make, you kind of ineffective with your clients or having some, less goodness than you normally do with your spouse or significant business partner. But then there's this bright light spot, right? This yay spot around on the 11th of April, the Cazimi, the meeting of the sun shining its light through benefic Jupiter. Okay. So it's a very lucky, happy, joyful, prosperous energy. All right. And it's reverbing all the way back to your ascendant. But so you feel this vibe very directly, but it could be coming through somebody else, right? Who brings this juicy luck to you. Some tension in the sky as Venus is having a disagreement with Saturn of some sort between the 14th and 15th of April. They're around 4 degrees each of the signs of Gemini and the signs of Pisces, especially going to feel maybe kind of push-pull between work and money, or between pet and money, or tenancies and leases and money. These are stories that could be happening during that discussion between Venus and, did I say, yeah. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry, I apologize. Venus is squaring from your 9th house. I apologize. So there's a tension and a discussion between legal matters and tenancies, foreign lands and home, health and work routines and travel. There's tension between those things. Examples, you want to go on a trip to a foreign shore with a woman friend or a love partner, but you can't because your boss and your work situation is too gnarly. And so on the 14th and 15th, you have disagreements and tensions there. That's an example. So just watch for that little glitch. It's not a big deal. It's really only like 14th and 15th, give or take a day or two on either side. Cautionary ideas here would be Saturn, Saturn's applying to Venus. He's strong in his application toward her. So I feel like the energy is like he's in the superior position. I would say you need to find yourself a balance here between something that has to do with work and health and something that you want to do that's a 9th house, courses, study, book publishing. For example, if you're an author and you're looking for an agent, this is restriction energy and cautionary energy. Maybe look at it a little bit like, will this agent go the distance with me? Saturn says, is it a marathon? Is it somebody who can really go with you all the way? So Saturn's putting a kind of a rein on your parade. So watch out for that. Later on the April 23rd to the 27th, there will be some energy going on in the sky between Mercury and Mars and the Sun and Saturn. There's those sextiles. Again, the 23rd to the 27th represents a time of flow. And let's talk about the details, therefore. What happens when Mercury is in a sextile from your chunky money house to Mars in your 10th house? Career, did I jump ahead of that earlier? Some good career stuff is going on, right? Like, why wouldn't you want that? Like, that's like, yay, you. So Mercury in Taurus, Mars in Cancer, kind of feeling a lot like you could have a really good opportunity here to level up your finances, basically. That's kind of the vibe. And now Mercury is retrograde at this point because, you felt that same energy April 7th to the 10th, but now he's in retrogradation. So you might also go back over some old ground, something you were thinking of doing before, to do with some plans with your money, your investments, your taxes, your savings accounts in the 401k style, your savings pension plan, and you're making some adjustments, but it's still good for your career money story, just as it was April 7th to 10th. Also, Saturn and Sun will be sextiling. This is very auspicious energy. Sun in the chunky money house and the Saturn energy in your 6th house can look like debt structuring, restructuring, refinancing, paying off a debt, structuring a loan in a new way. Good things like that are happening, or taking possession of money that you need for something to do with rentals or leases and things like that. So that is a lovely little window at the end of the month as well. The eclipse I'm not going to do in detail, but it is on April the 20th at 29 degrees of Aries. There's a change of significant other in your life. It's a new beginning, and it can be an ending of a business partnership, a significant love relationship, but it brings opportunity and it brings some financial goodness. Stay tuned for what's going to happen when I do the all signs video for that. We will talk about each of these signs for each sign in depth, at least 5 minutes each, because this is an important eclipse. It's a total solar eclipse. Alrighty, and even though it is a partial eclipse, it is a biggie as well. Alrighty, stay tuned for more. Thanks, Libra. I hope that rundown through the month of April is serving you and that you can use it proactively in the month of April. Check everything in my description box below. Jump aboard my train, see if you like it, jump off if you don't. And hope to see you guys in the future.